Good morning, everyone. It's Scrappy Kathy here. I'm doing my Freeze Friday layout share, and it's very early Saturday morning. I kind of life kind of got in the way yesterday. It was a really busy day, and I was trying to make as much progress as I could in my organization project, and so I didn't forget. I actually kept saying I'll do it after this last layout. I was doing the Scrap Squad birthday layout for Keely Brennan, and I kind of worked a little bit on it, and then I had something else to do and a little bit on it, and it wasn't finished until late last night, so I didn't I just didn't get to it. So I'm going to do it quickly. I think there are 12 layouts here. I think you've probably seen most of them out and about. I've started putting all my layouts on my Instagram story, and it goes to my Facebook story as well automatically. So there's a little bit more showing there. I haven't been putting it on Scrappy Kathy Facebook page, and I need to do that. I need to do an update. Anyway, spending wise, I ordered a packet of 25 sheets of black cardstock. Maybe day before yesterday. I should get it tomorrow. And I purchased 2 albums yesterday. I'll purchase 2 more today using my coupon at Hobby Lobby. And other than that, I haven't spent anything. It's been easy. The reorganization project has reintroduced me to lots of new or old supplies that I have, and it's been great seeing those. I spent several hours fussy cutting papers that I had put aside months ago for fussy cutting. So I've been reintroduced to those, and I'll show you some stars on that last layout that I did that came from that project. So without further ado, we'll do the project. And just to let you know, I think every one of these layouts uses something from my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit that I designated for the month of September. And I'm going to continue that. I have to make that kit reveal, but it's going to be a few more areas worth of embellishments kind of put in to fill up the embellishments that I did use. And I've got some scrap papers that I had designated for various and sundry projects in the past that I'm going to try to make an attempt to use. So I'm going to be using a lot of scraps and leftovers. So here's an example. I think that came from, and the straw came from a Secret Not Secret or Creative Cuts kit that I didn't use for the project that was intended. And I've had this beautiful perspective from Bramble Fox for just a while. Lots of some little tiny scraps of paper and little small embellishments from a Heidi Swap sticker sheet. So this was the first layout that I did for last weekend's or last Saturday's well, no, that's okay, that's coming apart. It needs some glue. Anyway, last Saturday's not Layout Palooza, but Stash Bash Palooza that with Christina Sorge. And it's a photo of Ava leaving for school. That previous Friday, the day before that, was when she did her first day of in-person classes at school. And she was excited and scared all at the same time. Barrett did his first day of in-person classes yesterday. Okay, this was my second Stash Bash Palooza, and Stash Bash Palooza tells you that everything on it is old stash. I think the only thing on this page that was even close to new was the white cardstock. All of these flowers were fussy cut from the scraps in my How to Color Kit with Style. And everything on here. These are some different, a different page of fussy cut flowers. This is another Heidi Swap embellishment chipboard sticker sheet. These two leaves were cuts from a Creative Cuts file. So were these circle rings, and so lots of scraps and mismatched paper. And I put this on, I was supposed to go that way, but I actually kind of like it. And I had this scrap, found this scrap of rickrack and included that. This was a branding strip, as were, well, there's some of that again. Just, this page is pretty much filled with junk, and I love it. I have to tell you, I love it. Okay. This one I don't love so much, but it's growing on me. It's a grid that has this kind of doily-like, that's actually a clear sticker from a Maggie Holmes collection. In fact, I used all of the embellishments here were from my Maggie Holmes drawer that is way too crowded and really kind of needs to be looked through. Let's see what that is. I'm not sure. It looks like there was something put on there. These are cork airplanes. Oh, okay, that's just the cork that it was cut out of. And I've got little airplanes. All of those embellishments came from the cork, the airplanes came from a Creative Cuts file. And I kind of fussy cut that out of a Project Life card. Didn't like how it looked, so I outlined it. Maybe that's the thing I don't like about this. And this is a very old sheet of My Mind's Eye paper, I think. Okay. This, I love the design of this and the idea of making these big, huge tags. And I used a little scrap, a baggie that I got those airplanes on the last layout. This baggie I cut into strips and stapled on here instead of ribbon. And I did a page about my organization project. That's the stack of layouts that I had to put away, and they're all put away. That's my punch and special scissors storage area, and albums with sticky notes sticking off of them. That's remains to be addressed. So I like this, and just, pretty much junk from various sticker sheets and just little strips of, and that's part of that same bag that was up there. So everything on here, also junk. Here's another one. I was challenged by the group. That was also for Stash Bash Palooza, as was this. Was my last layout for Stash Bash Palooza. The project that Christina showed us had full sheet, and it was set at an angle like this. And the ladies out there were discussing whether or not I would use a hedgehog, and other people kept coming up with other kinds of things that I might use at Calvin Ball. And so I went and found talk about a bunch of junk there. These are fussy cut from a very small scrap of paper from a different scrap. This butterfly is missing a wing. I think that may be one of the last ones I have from that Vicky Boutin paper. Some balloons from a birthday paper, a little panda in a hammock, and a llama and a or alpaca, forget what that is, and a hedgehog and an avocado, more balloons, and I've got a frog and some more flowers, a tropical leaf, a unicorn, an ice cream, a citrus fruit, a couple of citrus fruits, some more balloons. Just a very, very fun page to do, and it's about my the camaraderie of online scrappy events with my imaginary scrapbook friends. And this is a screenshot from the project that Christina was doing that was to be the model for this one. So I've got her hand there kind of selecting some papers. This was a fun page. Okay, I'm going to try to go a little bit faster. This one is it's a Scrap Squad Sunday. This was the Scrap Squad lift from last Friday. And you talk about not my style. All of this Prima gorgeousness. Not something I normally do. But I pulled out everything I had that I thought was reminiscent of that. And I did this page with a cute little picture of Reese lying on the air conditioning vent in my son's office. So I used this paper and then the reverse side of that and fussy cut those images out. I die cut my key and used lots of Maggie Holmes. I mixed Maggie Holmes and Prima here, and then this bit of Vicky Boutin. So I love this page. It's just a cute picture of Reese, and I've got texture and color and lots of just lots of texture there from fibers, and I like that. This one was it was a finished layout after I did a demo on different types of stamp pads. So I used different types of, or ink pads. I used different types of ink pads here for stamping and embossing and stamping and watercoloring and so forth on a layout about a book. Reading beach books while stuck at home. This one is the first of, in October, I'm doing both Load every day and Christie's 30 Days of Sketches every day. Christie's Beautiful Life is hosting that. And it's her 6th round, and I've never done it before, so I'm having a grand old time. And I'm doing also still doing Challenge Accepted and Mixed Media Frenzy and Scrap Squad Sunday. So this one was a Challenge Accepted. This was the very first sketch in the 30 Days of Sketches. So I kind of did that one true to its form, used the circular photo and the embellishments on one side and the strips across, the strips running vertically. And I used Cocoa Vanilla Daydream for collection for this. This is something that's from my, I'm committed to every single page having some junk on it, some stuff from my junk box. And here it's this sticker and this heart sticker, and actually this book paper was from, I just had a scrap of that left. So that was the junk on there. Here, the only bits of junk that are in my How to Kill a Kit with Stock Kit are this house and these wood veneer leaves there, and pretty much the alpha that's there. All the papers and so forth are new from my Mind the Scrap kit. But this was a picture of Ava before leaving for school, before that other photo was taken, and she had just gotten back from a high-intensity interval training workout and a and a run, and feeding and walking the dog and making breakfast for herself and her dad. So, and that was all before school. So, I took the exact same sketch the next day. I did this on the 30th of September to be published on the 1st of October. So I knew what the sketch was. I was able to do that. I didn't know what the load prompt was, and otherwise I might have combined it. But when I knew what the load prompt was, which was to talk about what domain are you the ruler of, and for me it used to be that I was the queen of Halloween, I took the sketch, turned it on its side, and used a rectangular photo instead of round, and then added a whole bunch of Halloween embellishments. Amazing amount of junk on here. A frame that's cut in half. This was fussy cut from one paper. There are lots of different papers that were scraps that are now in just barely there. I had stamped these maybe in 2012, and they'd been kind of lying around there, and I hadn't had just the right page to use them. Well, this was the right page. I was throwing everything at this page. So that's done. This one is one I did for Mixed Media Frenzy. It came out, it was published yesterday. I did it Thursday, and it's maybe one of my favorite layouts I've done because it was kind of quick and easy. And you talk about using up junk. This was done on the white side of the back of Vicki Boutin Mixed Media Foundations paper tablet. And I coated it with gesso because I didn't know how that surface that was there would take color. And I did kind of packaging technique to get the yellow, blue, and pink, and then I did some stenciling to get pink there. It's kind of subtle, and the photograph didn't really show it terribly well. So I kind of want to put it up close. And here the junk that I used is washi tape. I used probably about 5 or 6 kinds of washi tape. This is from a COVID-related collection that I got a while back, March or April, I guess. And then this is a sticker, what was left from a 12-inch sticker sheet there. So that's also junk. And the alphas are are fairly old, and I use them around. And this is a mix of mixes when I had some sequins left over in a mix. So this was a Missy Wooden original, and one of these days I'm going to redo this and try to emulate it with. I'm going to have an eye out for exactly these supplies. I think I'm going to try to see if I can cut a circle that big on my silhouette. This one I did yesterday morning and it uses the day 2 sketch from 30 Days of Sketches, and it uses the load prompt to talk about your family tree and whether or not you're related to royalty. It has a kind of removable journaling there. I used the map paper, and just about everything on here is from the Paige Evans Go the Scenic Route. And this one page has a perspective, 2 little perspectives that I have had for a while, so that counts as the only older supplies that I've used here. Everything else is from the new collection. And there's a grid here and these squares were 1.5 inch square. These are 2-inch squares, and I didn't use it on a plain sheet because I wanted the map to have the geotag showing where my family came from in the Alsace-Lorraine region of France, and that's approximately where it is on this flowery map. So and this was a kind of a multi-generational photo taken in 1948, and that's me in 1948, 18 months old. Then last night, the one that I finished late was this one. I'd worked on it all day, and these stars were fussy cut from a Paige Evans pad. I think it was Take Me Away. Might have been Pick Me Up. I don't know. I forget. But the page had been taken out of the pad and put into a pile of paper that I wanted to fussy cut from. And this is we had an electrician here all day Friday, and he came down to show us. I had a light fixture in in the workshop, which is also the entryway, and excuse me, something in my eye, and we had the fire alarm go off in the middle of the night. I never did see anything that was on fire. It eventually quieted down, and I, went on back to bed. I got up later, and maybe a couple days later, I noticed that a few of the bulbs were burned out in this chandelier. So I got up on a ladder and started trying to pull the bulbs out, and noticed that the bulb in this one was black. The whole bulb was black. And so I couldn't see. I was doing it from a different angle from where this photograph was taken. And I decided that this was a very old fixture that had been spray painted, and it was used a couple times. It was used in my house we moved from, and actually I think my then daughter-in-law had used it at her house in some room, and then she gave it to me. And apparently there was something wrong with it, because when the electrician came over and when he was changing it out, he said, this definitely was on fire. There are definitely flames. You can see how brown all of that is versus this one that's just blue and white. And he said, "You were very, very, very lucky." And he said, "Was the light on?" And that's when I realized, no, the light was not on. So it was connected. Obviously, it was wired into the wiring in the house, but the fixture was not on. So that burned kind of on its own. So I named this spontaneous combustion. There's only junk on this page, I think. These perspectives are the newest things, probably. The alphas are old, and there's another perspective. This is the hair from a Creative Cuts woman that I think was from last Halloween's Creative Cuts kit. And I've got lots of different little wood things and just really old stuff. Plus, then I took my ink pad and really antiqued it up and sprinkled some stuff. This paper is from a kit, not quite sure, or from a paper pad. I can tell by the texture, and I have no idea what collection it is, but I think it's a Maggie Holmes. And it already had a lot of, this antiquing, and I just kind of added to it to make everything look like it was burned. And this is the layout I was lifting. It had those 2 strips of paper, a photo and lots of layers under it, and some embellishments clustered around the photo. Other than that, it kind of has lost that identity. So happy birthday, Keely. And on a page about spontaneous combustion. So that's it, 12 layouts since last Friday, and this was actually in 8 days because this includes 2 that I made on Saturday. Today I'm going to be doing the load layout for the day, and then I will also be doing a different one for Scrap Squad Sunday, because the Scrap Squad, I'll be doing both the sketch for, let's see if I've got the sketches here. This is today's sketch for the 30 days of sketches. And this is the lift I'll be doing for Scrap Squad Sunday. And this is a Scrap Squad lift for Scrap Academy from last month, from September. And I may, if I can squeeze that in, I may go pull a bunch of old mixed media projects and punch circles, different size circles, to do with a photo that I have. So that would be a good use for some of my jelly prints and other things. Those are not patterned papers there. Those are actually mixed media pieces. And it looks like some of them are textured. I may actually play with some mixed media to take one of my pieces and actually do some embossing or texture paste. So I should have fun with those things. And I'll see you next week. I'll try to do it on Friday. I think there shouldn't be any barrier to that. We kind of got waylaid with some stuff. We had to actually go into town not once but twice, and we had some, like I said, some of the organization work to do, and it turned out to be kind of physical. So I'll talk about that in my next video. Thank you for watching. See you next week for a more timely layout share, and have a great weekend. Bye.